Well, hi there, boys and girls, and everybody in between. Making a little video again because force the vote will not go away, and certainly the opponents of it, uh, the opponents of force the vote, but supposedly for Medicare for all, continue to talk about it as if we're living in a pre-pandemic time. So the latest was that Ryan Grimm does what could be called putting up a gendered human shield in front of him, which is he posts a opinion piece or Intercept Voices from a person that's the director of communications, I believe. Her name is Stephanie Nakayami, something. I apologize. I do not mean to butcher names, but anyway. So she is from from an organization. As I said, she is the communications director, I believe, for an organization called Healthcare Now. That organization is from 2004, and we are today in, 21? So what's that, 17 years? 17 so years? And they have nothing to show for it. Absolutely nothing to show for it. For all the money that they've received from donors and from regular everyday people, they have nothing to show for their effort, right? But she will say that they do. They're trying to get more co-sponsors, as if co-sponsors is actually co-sponsoring a bill is the same as voting for a bill. That's the same bullshit that they try to roll up on Jimmy Dore with, right? So she says, forced to vote originated, I apologize to reading out loud to you, even my daughter hates it. Forced to vote originated last December when a group of online activists suggested that progressive members of Congress withheld their votes for Nancy Pelosi's re-election as Speaker of the House until she agreed to put Medicare for All bill on the floor for a vote. Pelosi was re-elected to the position in January, but the debate didn't stop there. Yes, it did. Force the vote died. And the debate about force the vote died the moment she was re-elected. That's when the debate about that stopped. What didn't stop, apparently, is the lies about what would have happened or would not have happened. And here is one more example of the gaslighting that's going on. As an organizer, and I love that, as an organizer, and she's going to separate herself, her type of organizing, versus the people who do online organizing, right? But here it comes. As an organizer, I think it's important to look for and meet on common ground with progressive allies and not descend into online debate clubs. Anyway. But because Force the Vote, which was conceived primarily on Twitter and does not have the support of a single organization or union fighting for Medicare for all. That's important. Now, these organizations have people in it that make a living fighting for a policy, meaning that if that policy is pushed through, they will become unemployed. Right? I mean, that's literally what we're supposed to believe, that she's working her ass off to lose her job. That's what we're supposed to believe, right? Anyway, Fall has captured so much attention on the left, unpacking some. There's this arrogant academic. I'm going to explain to you why you're so wrong and I know better. Right? I'm unpacking it for you. So much to unpack. Yeah, 123 Americans die each and every day pre-pandemic from not being able to see a doctor when that weird red spot is there, and then, oh shit, that's cancer. Oh shit, you're gonna die. Didn't have to, we're gonna just cut that shit off. But you didn't go because you couldn't afford the deductible or you didn't have health insurance. But anyway, I digress yet again. Unpacking some of its problem is a great way to illustrate what kind of organizing will get us closer to passing Medicare. We don't want to get closer to passing Medicare for all. We want to pass it. Again, this is not something that started in 2004 or when Obama passed, the Republican health care plan. This has been going on for decades. We have 64% of Americans, including 45% of Republicans, that support Medicare for all. And that thing will jump like it does in every other nation near 100% after it's implemented. And all the fear bullshit is proven wrong. Anyway, she goes on to discuss the argument for forcing his in the belief that a ceremonial vote. No, you all are calling it a ceremonial vote. The people that Brianna and Jimmy Dore were saying it probably won't work. But we are something that she totally does not mention once. Not once. We're in the middle of a pandemic right now. People are losing their jobs from where they had their health care. People are losing their lives or have long-standing health implications that will ruin them economically right now. Does not mention that once. Not once. Then she moves on. She talks about advocate of Medicare for all maintain that this will provide considerable pressure over and above the House co-sponsor list, a public document that already tells you who is and isn't on the bill. All right. I mean, she's young, but she's not so young, and she certainly didn't get that position by being dumb. How often do politicians lie and then when push comes to shove, do not follow through? Most recent example is the $2,000 check that Obama and every high-ranking, Biden and every high-ranking Democrat promised the voters of Georgia. And now it's a $1,600 that may become of $800, that may become a $400, that may not ever happen. How often do politicians say that they're for something and then when they actually have to vote on something that might pass, they don't do it? Fundamentally, we disagree not on whether to hold elected accountable, but how the co-sponsor list actually holds plenty of power. It's just not being used. What were you doing since 2004? Or after you started building the co-sponsor list, if it's your list? What have you been doing? If you're not using it right, who the fuck will? Literally, who? I mean, honestly, it is. I'm going to try to mix them together or it's coming out as part 2. Sorry about that. Anyway, it is mind-boggling, these people that are in leadership. Unless you, like me, believe it's all theater and what she's there to do is to actually prevent Medicare for all to ever come to be. Again, we are to believe that these organizations where there are people hired that make money, that make a living, that provide their home, their cars, their electrical bills, their Netflix, whatever it is that they enjoy, they're working to eliminate those jobs. What's her name again? Stephanie. I won't butcher her last name again. Stephanie. We're supposed to believe that you're working to eliminate your job, right? Okay. Then she gives a couple of examples of of 2 examples of how it was used and how it wasn't used, or how the pressure campaign didn't work. To actually wield this power requires persistent and strategic local activism. No, it does not. What it requires is media attention. Media attention. That's what it requires. Well, whether you, as hopefully everybody does, let me make that very clear, disagree with the people that rioted at the Capitol or not, or whether or not you disagree with the beginnings of the riots in anywhere. What you cannot argue is that there is not media attention on that. And the only way to get media attention in the media environment that we live in today is not by local activism. It is by massive gatherings in front of our elected politicians, forcing the national media attention on us. And you can't do that during a pandemic? What the fuck are these people? What are we paying? What are you? I haven't donated to them. But if you donate to them, Healthcare Now, what is your expectation for your money? Sorry if you're hearing the clickings from this. What is that? Then she goes on, forced to vote lit a fuse on Twitter for 2 reasons. First, people are frustrated with corporate Democrats and maybe even more so with our stalled progress at fighting them. After a blitz of new co-sponsors in 2017 and 2018, the co-sponsors didn't help, did it? The collective movement for Medicare for All has made much less progress over the last couple of years. Okay. It happens. I'll give you that. It happens. Popularity, you have a momentum, you build on it, you do something. But here's why the left can't fucking get anything done. And they're so fucking unorganized that is why we can't get it. It's not Republicans' fault. It's Democrats' fault. It's the left's fault. We're so fucking disorganized and self-hating. We're shooting at each other. Listen, I don't know how old you are, but if you have followed politics since, let's say, 2000, right? Fuck, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. At what crises have you, at what opportunity have you not seen Wall Street or bankers or the military-industrial complex or the medical-industrial complex be ready to take full advantage of the situation? Have you ever experienced them not being ready? Ever? Once? I have not. How in the world can all the organizations that are for Medicare for all the politicians, all the leaders of the movement not have a plan or even get together how do they not have a plan for a tragic but real opportunity to ram Medicare for all through the corporate barrier that she claims is what's holding it up? How are these organizations so unorganized, so bad, so pathetic that they don't have a plan or can't fucking pick up the phone and come together and get together and say, hey, we're in the middle of a health crisis, pandemic, and economic crisis at the same time. There will probably, or God willing, never be an opportunity like this to force the policy through that we know is the right thing by any socioeconomic measurement. How are they that bad? How are they that pathetic? Then in the article, she then goes on to say something untruthful again, right? She says, unfortunately, instead of funneling people into the organization that are base building locally, forced to vote became a purity test that distracted from the less glamorous work of organizing and perhaps even undermined it. Forced to vote never, ever had a purity test. Not one. What Forced to Vote did was say, hey, you ran as a politician, was elected because you said this, in large part because you said this, because you said you supported Medicare for all. We have an opportunity right now to force that conversation into the mainstream, to have hearings upon hearings, to have Katie Porter sit and grill every healthcare executive. And you weren't ready. That's what we said. We said to the politicians, put your vote where your mouth is. Do what you said you were going to do. There's not been one good argument for why we shouldn't force the vote. None. Is it a Hail Mary? I think you're a pathetic leader if you can't fucking convince the people in a room that healthcare for all is what we need in America. A public funded healthcare for all. You're a pathetic leader and should get off the field of debate. But you're saying that you don't think that massive amount of pressure, getting the camera on the people, on the stories of the bankruptcies and the unnecessary death each and every day, you can convince people in the middle of a pandemic and an economic crisis. It is pathetic. They are pathetic, and you should stop giving them money. They are worthless, absolute worthless. Anyway, I don't know if I can put these two together, and it's pretty long, I guess. If you like the videos, please like them, please share them. Please join me on Twitter or on Facebook. I will put out more content, and we will have some more fun. Anyway, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Be safe.